So I haven't done a Best Brawlers video since the end of June. We've had 10 new gadgets added and a big balance change on top of just the natural meta shift that happens over time since then. So today, let's take a look at who the best brawlers are for each 3v3 mode according to the win and use rates from brawlstats.com. What's going on, Jam Fam, and welcome back to the gaming station. Yes, today we're going to be doing another Best Brawlers video. If you haven't seen one of these from me before, what I do is I take a look at the top brawlers for both win and use rates for each mode. Then I pick the 5 brawlers that have the highest win rates that appear on both lists and try to present them to you guys as the meta brawlers for that mode. This time I had to do the top 15 brawlers for win and use rates in pretty much every mode. Normally I only have to do this for Brawl Ball, and I'm not sure if this is because the meta is more fairly balanced this time around, or if it's just because we have a lot more brawlers than we had like a year ago. Full disclosure right here at the start, I hate the way some of these lists turned out. I'll tell you what brawlers made the cut that I don't really agree with, and I will suggest some brawlers to play instead of them. As always, if you agree or disagree with any of this stuff, please let me know down in the comments. I always like to discuss this type of stuff with you guys. And while you're at it, let me know what your favorite brawler is for each mode. All right, enough preamble out of the way. Let's get started. Spike is going to be number 5 for gem grab, being 5th in win rates and 13th in use rates. Tara is going to be number 4, having the 9th highest win rates and the 2nd highest use rates for the mode. Sandy's going to come in at number 3, being 8th in both win and use rates for the mode. Number 2 is going to be Leon. He has the 7th highest win rate and the 5th highest use rate for the mode. And the number 1 gem grab brawler is going to be Belle. She has the 4th highest win rates and the 7th highest use rates for the mode. I put Spike at 5 because he's the only brawler on this list with the use rate outside the top 10, but when I extended it to 15, he was the first one to make the cut. That won't be the case for the other lists, and you could make the argument that Spike should be in the number 2 spot because his win rate's higher than everybody else other than Belle, but this is what I'm sticking with for now. And honestly, I don't really have any huge complaints about this list. All these brawlers make sense for the mode, and the only real complaint I have is that Belle is the only real mid that's on this list. The next one would have been Byron, but he's like 15th in win rates and like 12th in use rates, so he's not very close to making the list by the way I do it. For the Brawl Ball list, Ems is going to kick things off. She has the 16th highest win rate and the 13th highest use rate in the mode. I know those numbers sound really low, but to make Brawl Ball work, I had to do the top 17 for win and use rates for the mode, so that's why Ems is making the cut here. All right, number 4 is going to be Frank. Frank is 14th in win rates and 10th in use rates, and I do not like this pick at all, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Poco is going to be number 3. He has the 12th highest win rates and the 15th highest use rates for the mode. Number 2 is going to be Sandy. Sandy has the 9th highest win rates and the 12th highest use rates for the mode. And the number 1 brawler for Brawl Ball is going to be Nita. She has the 6th highest win rates and the 16th highest use rates for the mode. Brawl Ball is always one of the biggest issues I have when I do this list because the mode is played so much, but honestly, I think this might be one of the worst times that I've done it. First off, I'll openly admit I don't think Frank should be on this list at all. Yes, Frank can work in Brawl Ball, but I think he's more of a niche pick. I don't think he should ever be considered meta or a must-have pick for Brawl Ball. Buzz was really close to making this list, and he probably should have had this spot over Frank, but I stuck to the rules, and Frank took the spot over because he had the better numbers. And Poco's okay, but I wouldn't run him unless you have tanks on your team, or if it's a tank-friendly map like Sneaky Fields, as he doesn't really offer enough on maps like Pinhole Punt or Backyard Bowl or something like that. But Nita, Sandy, and Ems are all solid picks for Brawl Ball, and I feel comfortable recommending them to you guys. Okay, kicking off Heist, we have Nita at number 5. She's 11th in win rates and 7th in use rates for the mode. Number 4 is going to be Belle. She has the 10th highest win rates and the 14th highest use rates for Heist. And number 3 is going to be Byron. Weirdest brawler I could have think of to make the Heist list, but he has the 8th highest win rates and the 13th highest use rates for Heist. Number 2 is going to be Bull. He has the 6th highest win rates and the 12th highest use rates for the mode. And number 1 is going to be Colette. She's 5th in both win and use rates for the mode. Again, this is another list I had to drop to the top 15 for, and most of these brawlers are decent for the mode other than Byron. He can definitely work on a couple maps, but I think for the most part, you're better off running someone like Brock or Piper or Rico or Colt or something like that. I just don't think Byron's very good at getting kills quickly or doing damage to the safe, which are both things you really look for in Heist. Now, obviously, Bull can be really good on certain maps that have a lot of walls that let him get up the map safely, stuff like Pit Stop or Hot Potato. But on maps like Bridge Too Far or Kaboom Canyon, he's totally going to be outranged and he's going to struggle for most of the game. So I wouldn't say he's meta, I would say he's more of a niche pick, but he can work on certain maps for sure. And Colette also struggles from this, but to a lesser extent because she does have some range. But when you take her onto a map like Kaboom Canyon and you're facing a Piper, a Brock, and a Crow, you're going to struggle in matchups like that. However, she can do a ton of damage to the safe once you start cycling supers, so she can definitely work for sure. Bo is going to start off the bounty list. He has the 9th highest win rates and the 4th highest use rates. Leon's going to be in the 4th spot. He's tied with Tara for the 6th highest win rates, but only has the 10th highest use rates for the mode. Tara is going to be number 3. Like I said, she's tied with Leon for the 6th highest win rates, but she's 5th in use rates, so she has the tiebreaker. Nani is going to be in the second spot, being third in win rates and sixth in use rates. And again, for whatever reason, Rosa is going to be the #1 bounty brawler. She has the second highest win rates and the 9th highest use rates for the mode. All right, Leon and Nani make sense to me. They definitely have a use in bounty. Even Bo can work, even though I think he's a pretty bad brawler. But why in the world do Tara and Rosa always make these lists every single time I do them? They're pretty much always in the top 10 of win and use rates for bounty, and I do not get it. I don't understand. Belle, Brock, Piper, and Tick are all better options for pretty much every bounty map. Please play those brawlers instead of Tara and Rosa. I'm honestly just tired of saying that Rosa is the #1 bounty brawler when she's clearly not, and I just look like an idiot when I do it. All right, number 5 for Siege is going to be BB. BB has the 16th highest win rates and the 5th highest use rates for the mode. Belle's going to be number 4. She has the 5th highest win rates and the 8th highest use rates for Siege. Number 3 is going to be Lou. Lou is 13th in win rates and 12th in use rates for the mode. Crow is going to be number 2 in Siege, being 10th in win rates and 12th in use rates. And number 1 for Siege is going to be Buzz. Buzz is 3rd in win rates and 11th in use rates for the mode. Honestly, this is probably my favorite list so far. Crow is probably the weirdest brawler on this, but his slowing gadget can be really good on defense and while collecting bolts, so I could see why you would want to play him in the mode. It is a little weird to me that Sprout and Barley didn't make the list, as they're both very good in Siege, but I would still recommend that you play them in that mode if you don't want to play any of these brawlers. Gale, one of the weakest brawlers, is going to kick off Hot Zone. He has the 12th highest win rates and the 4th highest use rates for the mode. Frank is going to be number 4. He has the 8th highest win rates and the 13th highest use rates for the mode. Number 3 is going to be Nita. She's currently 7th in win rates and 10th in use rates. Number 2 is going to be Poco. He is 6th in both win and use rates for Hot Zone. And Sandy is going to be the #1 Hot Zone brawler. He's currently 5th in win rates and 7th in use rates for Hot Zone. Hot Zone's a little weird, and I'm not sure if this list is very good or not. The only brawler that I see being really good in the mode is either Sandy or maybe Nita, but that might be a bit of a stretch. As I mentioned, Gale is probably one of the worst brawlers in the game right now. He definitely needs a buff, but he can work with his jump pad, I suppose, but that's about all he's bringing to a team. Poco and Frank can work together, but separately, I don't think they're good enough to be considered meta on their own. So honestly, I think Stu, Belle, Ruffs, and Leon are all brawlers that I would probably recommend over those 3 brawlers. And in my opinion, it's really weird that none of these brawlers have the numbers to back up how good they actually are in this mode. All right, number 5 for Knockout is going to be Rico. He currently has the 12th highest win rates and the 9th highest use rates for the mode. Number 4 is going to be Brock. Brock is currently 10th in win rates and #1 in use rates for Knockout. Leon's going to take the number 3 spot, having the 8th highest win rates and the 6th highest use rates for the mode. Sprout's coming in at number 2, having the 6th highest win rates and the 11th highest use rates for the mode. And the #1 Knockout brawler is going to be Nani. Nani is 3rd in win rates and 11th in use rates for Knockout. Okay, full disclosure, I do not play a lot of Knockout. I find randoms to be really bad in the mode, and my team doesn't really like to play it, so personally, I don't really know if this list is good or not. To me, it looks okay, with Sprout probably being the weirdest brawler since he's not really good at getting kills himself, but he is really good at dealing chip damage, and he is a very safe brawler to play. But if you play a lot of Knockout, let me know what you think about this list, and if any of it's wrong, correct me down in the comments, because I don't mind being corrected. I'd rather have the correct facts down in the comments than not at all. All right, that covers all the 3v3 modes. Some of these lists I really like Gem Grab and Siege, while others are pretty bad, like the Hot Zone one. Doing the meta videos this way definitely has its flaws, and I'm totally aware of them, but I still think it's interesting to take a look at what's performing this way, even if it's not 100% accurate. Real quick, I just want to cover what brawlers made it onto multiple lists, and what brawlers I think are being slept on a bit. No one made it onto 4 lists this time around, but Belle, Leon, Sandy, and surprisingly Nita made it onto 3 of the 7 lists. I'm pretty sure the general consensus is that Belle, Leon, and Sandy are all pretty meta brawlers, so Nita's the only one that really surprised me. But maybe she's really strong and we just don't think about it because she's just Nita and she's basically been the same brawler for a really long time now. But moving on to the brawlers that I think are being slept on, I'm going to go with Griff and Brock. First off, Brock got a really big buff and he's a really strong brawler right now, and I'm not sure if his skill cap's what's holding him back from making more of these lists or if people just don't like playing him anymore, but I definitely think he should have made more lists than just Knockout. And as far as Griff, he has a top 15 win rate in 4 out of the 7 modes, but his play rates weren't high enough to make top 5 for any of my lists the way I do it. Now, it's entirely possible that he's just not that good and the sample size is just too small, so it inflates his numbers. But I personally think Griff is a really good brawler, and I'm surprised that he didn't make something like Brawl Ball or something like that. But what do you guys think about these lists? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Are there any brawlers that you think should or shouldn't be on them? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and if you're new, drop a sub, and consider joining the JamFam Discord. Link is always in the description. But that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.